Mack, I think we have a problem.
Uh-oh.
We have a real problem.
What's that?
I think you and I make too many dick jokes.
I don't think we make enough dick jokes.
We make too many dick jokes, sex jokes, innuendo, references. Last episode, we literally laughed at the word tip.
We did.
So I propose a challenge.
Okay.
I think during this episode, we are not allowed to make any dick jokes, sex jokes, innuendo, references, anything. And if we do, we have to record for 10 minutes longer.
I don't think I like that.
Get over it. It's already been added to the lore.
Oh, man. All right. Well, I drained my balls in your sink, and I also put my sack in your fridge this week.
Okay. Well, challenge starts now. No more jokes. No more references. No more innuendo. None of that shit.
I don't know. I guess we'll go along with it. What just happened?
A cloud just went over the sun, and I didn't have the light on here, so it got really dark out of nowhere.
Yeah, it got really dark just randomly.
That's probably how this whole episode is going to be. You know, it's going to go dark. You know, we're not going to know what to do to keep it lighthearted, so it's going to go dark.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. But yeah, I don't know how on board I am with this. We've been getting a ton of positive feedback about how great everything is. So I don't know how much we need to screw with things.
Too bad. I'm screwing with it. I'm screwing with it hard.
Well, there you go. Anyway, what's been going on with you?
Well, that's 10 minutes. Fucking nothing. Nothing's happening ever.
Wow.
I opened up magic cards on live stream the other day. It was really fun.
Okay. That's still a thing?
Still a thing. Yeah, why wouldn't it be?
I don't know. I just remember magic cards were like a big deal like 20 years ago. I didn't know they were still.
Oh, I thought you meant opening them on stream.
No. Just magic cards in general.
No, they're definitely still a thing.
Okay.
Still big boys.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got into magic cards when I was a young lad working at my summer camp. A lot of camp staff people are into, well, Boy Scouts in general are into magic cards. So
I gotcha.
Begged my parents to buy me a fat pack and open that motherfucker up.
Okay.
And now I have many more cards, and it's like paying a lot of money for cardboard.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, I used to collect like baseball cards and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, same thing, spending a lot of money on a piece of cardboard.
Yeah, and those have the downside of having a real person on them instead of just being something funny or cool.
That reminds me, I need to go out and buy a pack. I buy a pack of Topps baseball every the beginning of every baseball season just for the hell of it.
It's just there's something fun about opening up a pack of cards.
Yeah,
I don't even really play Magic that much anymore, but I still like opening the cards.
That was gonna be my next thing. Do you actually play or just
not terribly frequently? Like I still have decks, but I don't really have that many people to play with anymore. So even if I did, like I've never been that good at Magic. I just really like opening booster packs.
Yeah,
you know, it's like a surprise inside. You never know what you're gonna get.
Okay, yeah, I like it. That's kind of cool. So you open some cards on stream?
Uh-huh.
Like an unboxing?
Yeah, well, kind of like that, yeah.
Okay.
It's a pretty common thing. I've done like card opening videos before, but with the webcam that I'm using now compared to before, it's much higher quality, and positioning in front of my hands, I can get like a really nice shot of the cards. So I thought it'd be nice to do it as a live stream, and so some of my viewers had been into the videos, so I was like, oh, maybe it would be fun to do as a live stream. And sure enough, they ended up thinking it was fun. It's actually more fun than doing it for a video. So I think I'll just shut that video shit down and just do it on live.
All right, cool. I like it.
Mm-hmm. What about you? What's going
on? Just wrapped up my work day. Stopped at the grocery store. Picked up some steak to have a grill and chill with our boy Bradley later this week.
That's nice.
Yeah.
What did Bradley have to say about his epic loss over that argument?
I actually haven't heard Bradley's response from it. I only heard Anthony's, and he was very pleased that you were on his side.
My man, locking boys.
Actually, you know what? Bradley did mention something. He mentioned that they were both in the bathroom, and then Bradley left, and Anthony locked the door behind him when he left.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, it's slightly different.
Yeah.
That does remind me about Bradley, though. Obviously, Bradley knows my man crush Nick, who we talked about on a previous episode.
They actually just hung out over the weekend.
Yeah, so I was hanging out with my friend over the weekend, and I got a snap from Bradley, who I haven't gotten a snap from in a long time.
Okay.
And he just had a picture of a dog, and it said like Nick's dog, and I forget the name of the dog.
Yeah.
Honestly, I feel bad.
I actually got the same snap from him.
So he sent me that, and I was staring at it like, who the fuck is Nick? Like it didn't immediately like ding into my head. I was like, did Bradley send this by accident?
Right.
But then he sent me another picture of Nick like hanging out on his porch, and I was like, oh, Nick.
Right.
Very exciting for me.
While we're on the topic of Bradley, I've got another Bradley and Emma story that I forgot to bring up when we were talking about the 25-cent fee for going into a room.
Okay.
So, man, Emma had it made growing up. She totally played Bradley for all the money he had.
Thanks. She was robbing him for a little bit of savings.
Oh, hell yeah. He like bankrolled like her entire childhood. So this is so ridiculous. Bradley really did not like the way that Emma used to hold a pencil.
I'm sorry, Bradley, but that sounds like something you'd be upset about.
Oh, it's such a Bradley thing. Love you, Bradley. But he so he paid her $50 if she would change the way she held a pencil. And it also the way she held her fork. I don't know if that was a separate payment. I can't remember that. But there was also more involvement in the fork thing, because he didn't want to let his parents on to the fact that he paid her to change the way she held it. So if they were eating dinner and she was holding it the way he deemed to be incorrect, he would say, is that an airplane? Because they lived fairly close to an airport.
So that his parents would look out the window?
Well, I think just because like they would frequently be flying overhead, but that was his way of signaling to her that she needed to change the way she was holding her fork.
Should have just like fucking kneecapped her. Like, I paid you, bitch.
Yeah. But yeah, $50 to change the way she held a pencil.
My brother had an interesting situation when we were younger.
Okay.
So, when you're using like a knife and fork,
yeah.
The thing that pretty much everybody does is like, say you're cutting into a steak, like you cut in, you stab it with your like non-dominant hand with the fork.
Uh-huh.
Then you use the knife with your dominant hand to cut it. And then you switch the fork into your dominant hand so you can eat, right?
I do not do that.
Most people do.
I am strictly fork is always in the left hand, knife is always in the right.
Well, most people do. And so my younger brother would make my mom mad, like irrationally mad, because he wouldn't do that. He would do what you do. He would just keep the fork in one hand and the knife in another and just wouldn't switch.
I actually find it kind of irritating to switch hands.
Well, get over it, baby.
Why would you need to switch?
Because it's easier to cut with your dominant hand.
You just learn to cut with your right.
You have no room to talk, you left-handed freak.
But I have to learn to adapt to everything. The world's not meant for me.
No, it isn't, because you're a freak.
No. I'm correct.
How does it feel smudging your pen ink all the time, you dick?
Oh, God, it fucking sucks.
See, I write with a fountain pen. I couldn't be left-handed because that ink is much heavier and takes longer to dry.
Oh, yeah. No, it wouldn't even work.
You should be ashamed of yourself.
I like being left-handed. I think it's pretty rad.
That does bring me into something that we had actually talked about briefly, though.
Okay.
And came up as a question like 2 days after we had mentioned it to each other.
All right.
Microwave asked me, what makes us irrationally angry?
Oh, well, that was also a question that
You received.
Yeah, that I got from Mike. What makes us irrationally angry? Do you have an answer?
See, okay, so when you brought it up to me, the idea you posed was that this is a difficult question to answer because we can always come up with like the rationalization for why it makes us angry.
Right.
So I'll abridge it a bit. And what do you know shouldn't make you angry but does anyway?
Oh, this was kind of a topic that I was going to bring up at one point, and I didn't think that we had enough to talk about, so I kind of just shelved it. But people trying to be too polite when driving.
Oh, that is frustrating.
When it's like their turn to go, but they like wave you to go. And it just
especially at like stop signs.
Yeah,
it's like, no, there's a procedure to this, you dumbass.
Yeah, and so it just ends up taking more time than it would if you just follow, the normal cadence of driving.
Whoever gets waved through first should go too. Like it's so frustrating to me when like if you both stop at a stop sign at the same time and like you wave someone through and then they'll wave you back and it's like, no, I waved you first. That means you're fucking moving. You are making me sit here longer by not just going.
Right. Yes, exactly. The other one to go along with that, this is probably more irrational because I think people would probably disagree with me. But if I'm like walking through a parking lot, I don't want a car to like stop not at a stop sign or crosswalk and wave me through. Like, they're the car. They're already moving. I prefer them to just drive past and I'll cross afterward.
That would depend for me. Because some parking lots would get so fucking busy. It's like, please stop.
Yeah.
Please just stop. I need to get to my car.
Sometimes, yeah. Yeah, I'll give you that.
I really like the way like the Target over by my house is set up where they have like room for you to drive your car in front of the store and then like way far back at the end of the parking lot.
Yep.
Because I always go to the end of the parking lot because I don't want to wait for people.
Yeah, I don't like to drive in like
the front of the store.
The front
either.
of the store. Yeah.
It's super annoying to have to stop a bunch of times for people. So
yeah, it's usually faster, especially at a place like Target.
Yeah.
There's always people coming in and out of there.
Oh yeah. So
those basic bitches love them some Target.
They really need to set up that kind of thing more. It's
so
much easier to just go to the back of the parking lot.
I gotcha. Yeah. I'm with you.
For me, like things that make me angry when I know they shouldn't like bother me at all are just like basic little organization things. Like, God, this guy I work with, this shit, like I have punched a wall over this.
Okay.
This motherfucker. So imagine like a rectangular box, okay?
Yeah.
The way pretty much every manufacturer of all time ever does it is like the flaps for the cardboard box at the front and end go in first, and then the flaps on the outside fold in, and that's where the tape is, right?
Yeah.
So he'll open boxes, and then he'll put those side flaps in first, and then do the front and back ones instead.
Oh.
And it drives me fucking crazy.
Oh.
I don't know why he does it.
That's weird.
It's so fucking annoying.
That is really weird.
And like, I do have a slight reason to actually be annoyed about this. For the most part, it doesn't actually matter.
Okay.
It just bugs me. But then like, we have these shelves that like sometimes like there's certain spots where like you can stack two boxes perfectly, right? Like they'll fit perfectly in that spot. The problem is there's like the way that the shelves are designed, it's like, it's like a grid. Like there's like lines across the top and then lines across the bottom. The lines across the bottom move horizontally.
Okay.
So the back flap will like get popped up and then will get caught on the grid so it can't be fucking taken out.
Oh.
It makes me so fucking mad. And like one day I was just like, I was already dealing with a lot of shit. There was so much stuff in the freezer that I had to move around to work around with from my one order. And then I like got in there and like everything he had put away was in the wrong spot and the flaps were folded the wrong way. And I threw a box on the ground and punched the door. I was so pissed off.
Oh man.
I was not having it.
Oh, have you addressed this with him?
No, because he's like Darius. He's like our old coworker. Like, you can't teach an old dog new tricks kind of
guy. I gotcha.
It's like even really basic things. Like you can't do it. You can't argue with it. So like the freezer is basically soundproof. So I just like shut the freezer and like scream at the top of my lungs, I'm not a fucking babysitter. And then I come out all smiley again.
Right. You just got to get that little bit of rage out.
Yeah. Because it's like we've talked about before. Like you got to pick your battles. That's like such a thing that is not worth fighting.
Yeah.
But goddamn, does it make me mad sometimes?
Oh, yeah.
It's just little things like that, like things not getting put up back in the right spot, or like boxes randomly getting destroyed. This one I was totally justified in being upset about.
Okay.
They've done this before. We have these boxes of like cake, right? They're like gigantic boxes of a few different like 8-inch round pieces of cake, and they're heavy. Like they weigh like 40, 50 pounds. Like,
okay.
It's not an exaggeration.
Yeah.
So, there's two different kinds of carrot, red velvet, chocolate, and yellow cake. And we go through a lot of yellow cakes. We usually have 3 or 4 boxes of that. And they're all stacked together, right? So if you need to get like a carrot and it's like on the very bottom, you have to unstack them all to get to it.
Okay.
So sometimes like randomly, they'll just cut a hole in the box and grab the one that they need.
Oh my God.
And then I come in like half an hour later and sure enough, the fucking stack is slumping over because it can't handle all that weight. It's like, guys, who do you think has to clean this up? It's me. It's my job.
That happened with something at World Market.
You're probably right. I can't think of.
Oh, it was like people would pull shit off of a pallet.
Oh, right. They would just cut it out. Yeah.
Yeah. They'd cut the shrink wrap and just pull a box.
Yeah.
So then when you like cut the shrink wrap,
it all just collapsed.
Yeah.
I'll always like pull the box out of the stack, put it on the top, and I'll write on it, don't do this, the stack will collapse. And then that'll stave them off for a few months, but it always ends up coming back around, and it's like, come on.
Yeah.
It sucks. I know it sucks to have to unstack and restack these.
Yeah.
It sucks for all of us.
Yeah.
But there's not really a better way to do it.
Yeah. I gotcha. I had a funny Lily incident. We've previously talked about Luna throwing up. So this was, I think it was Saturday morning. She's kind of like walking around in circles, which, I mean, she does a lot, but she's also licking her lips. And I'm thinking,
this is sus. This is some sus shit.
Yeah, this is a little sus behavior. But I don't really think anything of it. And then I don't know if cats do this, but dogs make a very specific vomit noise, like when they're getting ready to vomit. And it's like a full body like motion.
Right.
And like I see that it's coming, and it was relatively early in the day. Like I think it was still like pretty cold outside. I didn't want to like throw a pair of pants on. I wasn't going to have time to get her outside. So I'm like, well, this is just going to happen. So I'm watching her, and she's making the throw up noise. She opens her mouth, and like I just see this like half solidified like chunk of undigested food start coming up, and I'm like, oh God, there it is. Nope. Closes her mouth, swallows it down, and she was done. She went back in her bed and laid down. Girl just closed her mouth and sucked it back down.
Fucking gross.
So gross.
Oh man.
God. And the other day she farts a lot.
She do be farting though.
The other day she ripped a loud long boy and like turned around and looked at her ass like, where did that just come from? What was that? Girl, that was you. You be stanky.
It's all you.
Yeah.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah. So
while you were talking, I thought about something else that makes me irrationally angry.
Okay.
Obviously, my apartment faces towards like the courtyard kind of space. Like I'm not facing the parking lot.
Yeah.
So I have like this big like bundle of trees and shit right outside my window. Really pretty. The problem is there are some children who live in this complex, and sometimes I see them playing like right beneath my kitchen window.
Do you think about how many of them you could take in a fight?
Not frequently. All I think about is how badly I want them to not be below my window, because I hate kids.
Do they make a lot of noise?
Yeah, well, I mean, not a lot, but like I can hear them a little bit, and like sometimes I'm like, I'll be like getting up on my day off and like I'll be sitting there like my hair's all tossed around. I'm wearing like an old t-shirt and my shitty sweatpants, like looking out my own window. And then I like look down and I see a kid and I'm like, they look up here, like I'm gonna dead ass like give them the middle finger.
I love it. Well, I mean, I've told you about how much I hate those little demon spawns that live above me.
Kids are terrible.
God, they make so much noise. It's ridiculous. I pulled like the classic like what you see on TV when you've got like the noisy neighbor upstairs, and I like banged on my ceiling like a week ago. It didn't help.
Oh man, I've done that a couple times. I used to not bother with it with my upstairs neighbors until one time they called a noise complaint on me for vacuuming, which, to be fair, I will admit I was vacuuming very early in the morning because I am an early riser because I go to work at 5 a.m. every day.
Okay.
So I was vacuuming at around 8 a.m. on a Sunday. So
yeah, that's not so bad.
That's not so bad. And like they make so much fucking noise on my ceiling. Like, God, constantly. They've woken me up before.
Yeah.
I've woken up to the sound of them fucking upstairs, you know? Like,
right.
I've heard their bed creaking back and forth. It's horrible. It's so annoying. And so I was sitting there like, I have been so patient with you motherfuckers, and you noise complaining my ass on a vacuum cleaner?
Right.
How dare you? So I take my sword I mentioned, and I fucking bang the hilt of it against the ceiling. It makes such a loud sound.
Nice. Did it get him to stop?
No, not really. They'll usually bang down onto the floor back, and I'm like, I don't really know what that means. I don't know what I'm supposed to take of that.
Does that just mean that they're pissed that you're pissed?
I think so. I'm like, what the fuck do you want from me? You guys sound like you're wrestling on the floor 9 hours a day.
Yeah.
Like, can you just chill for a sec, dude?
Yeah.
I honestly don't know how they can make so much noise. Like all the units in this building are the same floor plan as mine. So theoretically speaking, there's no more than 2 people living up there because it's a 1-bedroom apartment.
Yeah.
How do they make so much fucking noise?
Yeah. I don't know. Like those kids above me, like they like literally jump so much. I'm ready for one of them to just fall through the ceiling one day.
I am worried about that. I'm legitimately worried they're going to crash through onto my desk at some point.
See, I said that I'm just going to be sitting there watching TV one day on the couch, and all of a sudden a kid's going to fall down onto the couch next to me.
Sit around right next to you.
Yep.
You're going to look over and like, you like Jumanji?
Right? God, I'm just waiting for the day that happens.
Pop in Jumanji 3 distracted while the police come by.
Right? Oh.
See, with my luck, I'm worried I'll just be like jerking off in the middle of like just, at any time in the day, and like all of a sudden someone's gonna go crashing through. I'm just gonna look over them and be like, well, it's not for you.
Right? Oh God.
Oh shit, that was a sex joke.
It what? Well, it's fine. Just go with it, bro.
No, at 10 more minutes.
That makes no sense, but whatever.
That's the rules.
I mean, I hope that doesn't happen if a kid falls through the ceiling.
No, well, like I said, it's a 1-bedroom apartment. I really doubt there's a kid up there, but
never know.
Oh, goddamn.
Yeah.
I hate neighbors. I wish I could live. I wish I could live like in an apartment building, but in the middle of nowhere, and there's only 1 unit. Like I want someone to come and like take care of my lawn, take care of my maintenance. I want them to fucking do the gardening, whatever else. All I have to do is live in the place. That sounds ideal to me. No neighbors.
Yeah, I think you're just talking about a house, and you just hire
yeah, but I don't want to pay them
lawn
for
care
it without knowing. Like I know my rent technically pays for it, but
yeah, I gotcha. All right, I got something to talk about. I've previously mentioned my friend Steph, and she's been listening, loving the podcast.
Thanks for following me on Instagram.
Anyway, I haven't really told a good story about her, and finally I decided what I wanted to talk about. So she's in love with this guy named Justin, right?
Okay.
This dude is the worst person on planet Earth.
Okay.
And she needs to just figure out how to get over this dude. But let me tell you a little bit about him, okay? So he's roughly, I think he's like 28 years old. He on occasion will do coke in her bathroom.
All right. Awesome.
He lives in a 1-bedroom apartment with his brother and mom.
Oh.
He sleeps in the bedroom. They have their own futons out in the living room.
Okay, at least they're not sharing a bed.
Correct. Well, we're getting to his bed. So he doesn't have like a fitted sheet.
Okay.
On the bottom. He just has like, she said it's this like nasty silk sheet. He just lays across the bed.
Okay.
And then instead of having a comforter, he has an unzipped sleeping bag that he sleeps under. There is no bed frame. It's just mattress.
Okay.
Just mattress on the ground.
Oh boy.
And the mattress leans to one side.
What?
Do you want to know why it leans to one side?
To give it to me.
He likes to do puzzles, which nothing wrong with doing puzzles. Totally cool. Just started a puzzle the other day. But he likes to save them when they're completed. And he has so many completed puzzles that he stores under his mattress to keep them nice and flat that it's now causing the mattress to lean to one side.
Jesus. Okay.
She gave me one more tidbit of information the other day, and I want you to take a guess. What do you think his favorite band is?
Nickelback.
100%. His favorite band is Nickelback. So any of our listeners, if you're available, just let us know. Steph needs someone new.
There's actual adults out there for you, girl.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't get it. Steph, thanks for listening. I needed to tell some story about you. Ugh. Justin. So, I mean, maybe a matchmaking service is another thing that Breakroom Nachos can provide.
Breakroom Nachos. Oh God, what would the name of it be? I don't know. I immediately thought like break room, break up, but that's not really what you want, so that doesn't help.
No, yeah. You don't want breakup nachos.
Mm-mm.
Now we'll work on a name.
Yeah,
it'll happen at some point.
Someday, man. Someday.
Yeah. What else you got in that question bank?
I fucking closed the app because I'm a 4-year-old with no brain.
Oh, you're the worst.
What did you learn throughout quarantine?
I mean, nothing I necessarily learned. Well, you know what? I just learned all sorts of things about my friends. Like I heard so many stories that Bradley told because him and I would be on a video chat with a group of friends like every night for like a month. So I heard all the Bradley stories that I've told about him and Emma, and I actually got to know Emma. But yeah, I mean, just things about friends that I would probably never have learned just because I spent more time talking with them than I normally would.
That's kind of nice. That's a little wholesome.
Yeah, it's not a horrible thing.
No.
What about you?
I learned how hard it is for extroverts to go long periods of time inside their house.
Yeah.
Like, as I've talked on stream before quite a bit actually about like the idea of introverts living in an extroverted world.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like a lot of people are raised to believe, like I was raised this way, to believe like, oh, if you're a kid who doesn't make a lot of friends or you don't have a lot of friends, like there's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
Like parents push so hard for like kids to make friends. They're like, it's so important for you to socialize. You got to go out and have friends. And it's like, I've always been, for the most part, someone who generally prefers being by myself. I enjoy my own company more than I enjoy the company of others.
Yeah.
So it's never bothered me to be alone for long periods of time. So when quarantine started up and it was like, okay, nobody can hang out with anybody, it was like, fuck, who cares? and like several months into quarantine, like all these memes are getting posted about people trapped in their house. They're losing their minds, so they don't know what to do. And it's like, I was sitting there like, I'm good. This is all fine. It literally did not affect me in the slightest.
I mean, it definitely got to me after a while, for sure. But I mean, I was still going to work, so I was at least getting out. I would imagine I would have went absolutely bonkers if I was home inside every day for, months.
Yeah. I guess I could see that part of it would get to me, just like not going out at all. But like the lack of social interaction would not bother me at all.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I had, plenty of like virtual interaction with friends. So that definitely helped. But there was for sure part of me that missed physically seeing 3-dimensional friends.
Not me, brother.
Yeah.
I fucking hate people. I'd rather be by myself.
Right? God.
I have such like, I hate the notion or the thinking that introverts are somehow like, there's a difference between introversion and antisocialism. Like antisocial people are people who like actively dislike other people or are looking to like negatively impact other people.
Yeah.
Whereas like as an introvert, I just don't generally like being around other people. Right. Yeah. And the easiest way I can describe it like to an extrovert is just that like, I have like a certain capacity for like social interaction that I can put up with. And after that, I need to be alone by myself for a bit to like recharge.
Right.
And I'm sure extroverts have that part of them as well, but it just takes a much shorter amount of time to like recharge or a much longer amount of time to reach that point.
Yeah.
For me, like I can't do crowds. I don't really like people that I don't know, which is, it makes it very hard for me to make friends. But like, if a friend who I know very well invites me to like a group thing with like more than 2 people that I don't know, that's too much for me. I can't do it.
Yeah.
Like I get so stressed out around people that I don't know. And it's like, I dislike that the world has made it out that this is an unhealthy behavior. And it's like, no, it's just, I just prefer being by myself. There's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah. I'm kind of an interesting character when it comes to like social interactions with large groups of people that I don't know. They're like, I'm one side or the other. Either I'm like controlling the room and just talking to everybody and, like ripping jokes left and right, or I just stand there and don't say anything to anyone. It's like there's really no in between with me.
I gotcha. I could see that. For me, it's like the greater number of people I do not know, the smaller effect I will have on anything.
Yeah.
There's like a very fine line where it's like, okay, 4 to 5 people I don't know, I'll be very quiet. I'll respond to like questions and like people talking to me, but I'll generally just like one word answers, not really interact much, and not out of like a desire to not interact, but just because like I get so overwhelmed by the presence of other people, especially people that I don't know.
Yeah.
And then like, you go to like 10 people I don't know or like a crowd, and it's like if someone I'll be like nosing my phone close to my face, like I'll have a very clear barrier around me of like, do not talk to me. I am overwhelmed right now.
Yeah. I gotcha.
There is a part of me that's like, it kind of sucks that I'm so introverted, but I also like don't have a problem with it. I like being by myself. I like quiet.
Yeah.
I like peacefulness. I like relaxation. I do not like excitement. I don't like, parties. I don't like getting all crazy. I just want to fucking sit at home, play with my cat.
God, you tried so hard there.
Because my immediate thought was obviously what we normally would say, but
right,
can't do it today.
Okay, yeah, I don't think this is gonna last longer than one episode.
I didn't say it was. This is a 1 episode thing.
Fair enough. Ugh. All right, I already hate it.
Get over it, baby bitch.
You get
Shut
over
the
it.
fuck up, you egghead loser.
Wow. Wow. Egghead loser.
Fuck you, Mike.
That's pretty harsh.
Fuck you.
All right. Well, I have nothing else to say. No, anyway. Continuing on. My friend Tim, who not our ex-coworker Tim, he was actually one of my roommates at one point. He's been listening and he had a question for us. What is like the stupidest or like most extreme thing you have done to impress a girl that you've liked?
Holy shit, that's a really good question.
Right?
I don't even know if I can think of it because I don't do that kind of thing.
So, well, if you want to think for a second, I'll tell you what his was, and then I'll tell you mine, and maybe you can come up with something.
Okay.
So, I wouldn't have minded his, but he apparently he went out and ate sushi, which is like not his thing.
That's so small.
Yeah, but if you don't like fish or like raw fish would disgust you, then it's kind of a big thing, right?
I guess.
I mean, yeah, I mean, he didn't say it was like life-changing. It was just something he did to try to impress someone.
Honestly, I was expecting like, oh, I hired like 12 drummer boys and some shit like that.
12 drummers drumming.
Yeah.
Okay, I gotcha. God, I would say mine would have to be, and you know what? At the time, it was kind of ridiculous. But overall, I'm kind of happy with it in the end. So, this was like going back to high school. I like this girl who used to listen to country music.
Oh boy.
And so I like gave it a little bit of a whirl and dabbled in listening to some country, and to a degree, I kind of like some country, and I have a greater appreciation for a broader style of broader variety of music. So at the time, it was kind of ridiculous, but I don't hate it, and I'm actually kind of glad I did it now. So,
well, good for you.
Yeah.
I still can't think of anything. I don't think I've ever done anything like that, to be honest with you.
Huh.
I mean, I've also always been like a pretty open person to like new ideas and concepts. So
Yeah.
like I can't say something like, oh, I went and ate sushi even though I didn't like it, because a lot of the time when I start dating somebody, like I personally choose to immerse myself in whatever they're interested in, because I think that's the right thing to do in a relationship.
Sure.
So I can list a good number of things that I've gotten into because of girls that I've dated that have continued beyond the relationship, but I don't think I can think of anything that I did in particular to impress somebody.
Okay, well, all right. Was there something that you like immersed yourself in that you were like, oh God, this is awful, I can never do this again?
Nope.
Nothing that you even were like.
You have to realize, Mike, I've dated like 6 girls. I really don't date much.
No, I get that, but like there was never anything where you're like, oh yeah, that seems cool, and then after trying it, you were like, nope, never again.
Not really. No. If anything, I was just like, that's not really for me.
Okay, throw an example out there. What do you got?
I watched horror movies with a girl once, and we watched the movie Hereditary, and that movie is horrible. It made me feel very bad.
I've never heard of that movie.
It is a very unpleasant time. I did not enjoy that.
Okay, fair enough.
But that's it.
Okay. All right. You watched a movie that you didn't like.
If anything, the most harrowing thing I've ever done is dated that one girl who was super boring for more than 2 days.
Gotcha.
To give context to what I just said, because that makes me sound kind of douchey. I dated this one girl a couple years ago. She had like no fucking personality. She was just so fucking boring, and like she had like 2 stories out of her repertoire that she would just like choose different aspects of to tell because she had no other interesting experiences to draw from for a conversation.
Join us next week when this girl comes on the podcast.
I really don't think we can do that.
No, I'm yeah, because obviously she'd have nothing to talk about.
And this is around the time that my old roommate moved out, and my old roommate was allergic to cats. And I had cats my entire life. Like, my parents had a cat before I was born, so I've had cats my entire life. And so I lived with this roommate who I've told stories about previously for about 6 or 8 months. I think it was about 8 months, and I couldn't get a cat because she was allergic to cat, and I was like, it's fine, I'll just deal with it until I decide to move out on my own. I didn't realize how much I would fucking hate not having a cat. Like having a cat is such an integral part of my life now.
Yeah.
So I as soon as she moved out, I was like, all right, time to find a cat. So I was dating this girl at the same time, and I was going to the Humane Society about once a week to see if I could find a cat that I liked. And I knew going in, I was like, you can't just adopt a cat that you think is cute or whatever. Like, you got to find like a cat that chooses you as much as you choose them, so to speak.
Right.
So, this girl, she lived out in the middle of fucking nowhere. So I had to drive like and she didn't have a car. So I would have to drive out to her house, which was in a trailer park, where her like mom and like weird older brother lived with her. And I would pick her up, and then I'd drive half an hour back to my place. And then like it'd be like several hours of like not really any conversation, just watching some show. And like it would always end in sex, right? Like that's
sure.
At that point in time, I wasn't dating anybody else. So it was like, okay, I like sex. Like, this is whatever.
Right.
But then like, cut a few weeks later, I meet this little fluffy black and white cat with a mustache at the Humane Society.
Yeah.
Named Luna. And I decided to adopt her because like the moment I got to like finally like touch her, she like they set me down on a stool in front of her cage, and I opened her cage, and she walked right out of my lap and was like super friendly, we were vibing on each other big time. Right. And I was like, all right, this is the one. I'm adopting this cat. And so like I had a date planned the same day I'd planned to bring home Luna.
I remember this. I remember you telling me this.
Yeah. So I had a date planned with this girl the same day I was planning to bring home Luna. So I was like, do I want to just hang out with this new cat I just adopted and like introduce her to my home and just chill out with this cute new cat?
Yeah.
Or do I want to go on a date with this girl that I don't really enjoy being around that much?
Right.
So I broke up with her.
Is that the one with the brother?
Yes.
That had the shirt?
Yes. God, he had like a Dragon Ball shirt. And it was the dumbest shit. It had like a few of the Dragon Balls on it, and had like text, like big letters that said, what was it, like grab my balls and unleash the dragon.
Yeah,
I'm not counting that as one of ours because that was him.
Yeah,
but
oh god,
it was that was a weird relationship. I really wasn't into it that much.
Yeah, how long did that last?
I don't know. I couldn't have dated her for more than a month.
Okay. Yeah. Huh.
Ugh. Sometimes she just got on my nerves, I literally like, I'd be like watching a movie I'd never seen before, and like she'd be like starting to like start foreplay or whatever, and I'd be sitting there like, I've never seen this movie. Can we watch this movie, please?
Nice.
Like I'm not like one of those guys who's like, yes, sex all the time, please and thank you. I'm very much like, sex is great and all, but I also want to have an actual relationship.
Right. I gotcha.
So that relationship didn't last because she was boring, and all she ever wanted to do was have sex. So that was not for me. I'd much rather hang out with Luna.
Right. Yeah, I mean, Luna's a good little cat. We like her.
She's great. Yesterday, her and I were snuggling on the couch, and she fell asleep, and she was dreaming, and she was like twitching a lot and like started to like chirp, as if she was like hunting birds in her dream.
Okay,
super fucking cute. So I got out my phone to try to film her and get her like chirping, but she woke up, and I put that video on Instagram if anyone wants to see it.
I think I might have seen it.
Yeah. It was really cute because she like stretched her paw right into the camera, and I got a really funny angle on her face. So
yeah, at first when I saw that, I wasn't even sure what I was looking at.
Yeah,
and then she moved, and I was like, oh,
because like, okay, so this is gonna be hard to describe for the viewers, but like, so I was laying on the couch and like Luna uses my arm as like a pillow. So like her head was like on top of like my armpit.
Yeah.
And like my arm was like wrapped around her. So I like picked up my phone and like I had to like maneuver it so I could film her and like get her in focus while also not disturbing her.
Yeah.
So like her head is like right here. My face is like right here. There's like 3 inches between my face and hers. And that's where my phone is like positioned. So it's like a super close up shot of her.
Nice. That's cool.
She's the best. I love that cat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Much more than I loved that girlfriend.
Right. I don't remember who posed this question, but what are your thoughts on dudes with nose rings?
I don't really have a preference. I wouldn't get one myself, but
It weirds me out. I'm super weirded out by that.
what about it?
I don't know. Just it's weird.
I've been rewatching Better Call Saul recently.
Never seen it.
Really good. But there's this one scene where like it's about Saul from Breaking Bad.
Yeah.
Who's a lawyer, but like he's still like there's a little bit of like the drug trade stuff and like there's side characters with side stories. So one of them is a drug dealer and Nacho. That's not his actual name, it's like a nickname. But
Okay.
There's like this one scene where like he's getting money from one of his dealers and like he's a little bit short on cash because I don't remember, like they got raided by the police or whatever. So like this guy had like a bunch of piercings.
Okay.
And so like he's like I'm a little bit short, but I'll make up for it. And he's like, come here. And he like walks over and he's like lower your head. So he like brings his head down.
Okay.
And he grabs one of his like these giant earrings he's got and just fucking rips it out.
Oh,
And
damn.
like slams it on the table. And like that shit freaked me the fuck out. I was like, oh God. Ow.
Oh,
No, thanks.
Nope. Hard pass.
Yeah, so the only thing I can think of like when I think of like a nose ring is like imagine you got like a hoop and like someone just like took like a fucking dog leash and like attached it to that thing and just like started yanking you around by your nose.
Oh man. Did I ever tell you the story about the time that not only did I lock my keys in the office at work, but I had locked him in the cash office?
Is this the story that Jess loves?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, this is a good story. Jess would love to hear that this is on the podcast.
So, at our previous job, we had an office with which most of the time the door was locked unless it was propped open by our old manager. But then there was also another door within the office that went to our cash office where it had our safe and all that good stuff for counting money and deposits and things like that. So it was late. It was like right before we were closing, like, I don't know, 8:45, like 15 minutes before we were closing. And this girl walks in and she's got like, she buys something. So I was like more willing to do it, but she was like, hey, do you have like a roll of quarters? I'm going, I don't know, whatever she said she was doing, laundry or whatever. She's like, can I like buy a roll of quarters? And I was like, all right, fine. So I go into the cash office. I get her a roll of quarters. I leave and I'm still within our regular office. And I'm like, oh crap. I left my keys in the cash office. So the door locks behind me. So whatever, I give her quarters and I'm thinking, all right, how am I going to get in here? And
For reference, like we'd all locked our keys in the office at some point.
Yep.
And that's, it kind of sucks, but it's not the biggest deal because like there's the office and then there's the break room where we would consume our nachos.
Yes.
But there, there's a wall between the two, but like each of them has like a ceiling with like those like
it's a drop ceiling.
Drop ceiling. That's it. So you could wheel a ladder in there and you could like pop up one of the squares and like climb over the wall and drop into the office. We actually had one of the like squares that was just super fucked up because we had like done it so many times. Cause like each of us had like locked our keys in the office at some point.
Yeah.
Some of us had done it multiple times, mostly Carissa and Marco.
Yes.
So it had been done multiple times. So we had this like fucked up square.
Yeah. So I had locked my keys in the cash office and I don't remember the exact situation surrounding it, but like like Tim was like up in Flint visiting Bubba's family. And like, Carissa was like drunk 45 minutes away. I don't remember if you had keys at this point or not. There was some reason I couldn't get a hold of anybody else. So like basically the best option was like 45 minutes away, and I have to like start counting the deposit at this point. So I'm trying to come up with ways to figure this out. So I'm like, can I drop through the ceiling into the cash office?
Totally not possible.
Totally not possible. Like, we would have all died.
I don't know if this was intentional or like to protect the cash office, or if it was just the way the building was built. But for some reason, the room that the cash office was in with like the big old safe.
Mm-hmm.
So like we had like the ceiling option between the break room and the office. But for some reason, the cash office had like a wall that continued up through the ceiling. So
I imagine that was intentional.
Yeah, so you couldn't like do that same maneuver without like scaling a 5-foot wall as well, and then dropping that'd be like a 15 feet at that point.
Yeah, you were basically gonna die.
So like you didn't have that same option to climb the wall as you did with the normal office.
So, our old coworker Jess, she climbs up on top of the refrigerator, peers over this wall, and I'm like, hey, can I like give you something? Like, can you like poke the door handle with a broom? It was like a lever handle, not a knob. So whatever, I hand her a broom. She's like, nope, that's not going to work. So I then decide, all right, I'm going to make this work. This is going to work. I'm not calling for help. So I make what Jess then dubbed Super Broom by taping 2 brooms together. She like sticks it through the ceiling, pokes the handle down. I'm in the office at this point because I actually caught the office door before I realized that I wasn't going to be able to get back in. So that was already propped open, but she pushes it down and I managed to get in. And I don't know if I ever told you this part of the story. So this wasn't that long ago. Not our old coworker Ken that we've talked about, but new Ken.
Well, okay, yeah, go ahead.
New Ken one day says to me, "Hey, I'm really glad that you like to tell stories." And I'm like, "Oh, why is that?" And he's like, I locked my keys in the cash office. He's like, I really didn't want to have to call anybody. He's like, so I'm glad you told me that you can open it up with that super broom. So he had to do literally the same thing.
Oh, that's awesome. No, you didn't tell me that.
Yeah.
Man, I miss Ken. He was a good guy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It was such a pain in the ass. Every time that I locked my keys in the office, this happened a couple times when I first got my keys. I had them on my normal carabiner that I keep around my waist.
Yeah.
So I would like open the door to the cash office to like grab a phone out of there or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And like I had this bad habit of like leaving my key in the door as I went in there, grabbed the thing I needed, went back out, and then I would just forget that the key was there.
Okay.
And then like I walk out and like 10 minutes would go by and I'd notice that I'm not jingling as much as I normally am.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, where are my keys? And I'd realize it's locked in the office, stuck in the fucking door. So eventually I had to start remembering, like, even from only going in the cash office for a second, I got to yank my key out of the door.
Yeah. Yeah, I gotcha. You remember the really funny thing about New Ken that you and I both did and then discovered that we both did the exact same thing?
I'm blanking here.
So, we had original Ken and then we got a new Ken.
This is a great story.
And so original Ken I had saved in my phone as Ken WM for Ken World Market.
I had him saved as Ken Cock because he was an asshole.
Yeah. I mean, whatever. Fair enough. No one's going to disagree with that. But so when new Ken came, I was like, well, I can't save his number as Ken WM and I can't change old Ken's name because that's just how I know him. So I I just never saved New Ken's phone number, and I just knew him as like the random like 810 area code phone number that would randomly text me or text our group.
Right. He was the only phone number you didn't have saved.
And you also did
the exact same thing.
God, so funny.
I love that. Yeah. Anytime I needed his number, I just go in the group text, be like, all right, this is the one I don't have saved. That's Ken.
Yep. Exactly. This one's Ken.
I still don't have it saved. Like I haven't worked there forever. I still don't have it saved.
No, I don't have it saved either. That same thing. Crystal always gets really pissed that I still have her just saved as Crystal WM and never dropped it and just left her as Crystal.
Sucks to suck.
Yeah, sorry. Once you're in my phone, you just stay in there as whatever I put you in.
I don't do that. I do say people with like their full names unless they got some crazy ass last name that I don't know how to spell, like our old boss Tom. I mean, I won't say it on the podcast, but he had a long ass last name.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely. I did briefly have you saved for like a hot second as Mac and Cheese.
Ugh. No thanks.
I think I did it because you didn't like it.
It's the nickname Mac and Cheese is one of those names that bugs me, not because it's a bad nickname, but just because everybody has said it at some point.
Yeah.
Like ever since I was a little kid, people have been like, Mac and Cheese.
Yeah.
Like, okay. Well, you're really original.
Yeah. It's not like Mike Bike.
No. Has anyone ever called you Bike? Mike Bike?
No, no, Marco. No, nobody has.
Why would they ever call me Mike Bike?
It doesn't make sense. I don't ride bikes. Oh, that dude.
What's up with that?
What up with that?
Start to insert Jerry Seinfeld bits on the podcast. Like, I mean, there's enough young people who don't really know what Jerry Seinfeld did before Seinfeld that we could probably just steal his stand-up and no one would really notice.
Probably.
Then again, a lot of our demographic is that 35 to 44. So who knows?
What's the deal with that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just yoink his shit.
Yeah. We can totally do that. I love Jerry. Such a good dude. I saw him do stand-up live at the Fox once.
He's a bit elitist about comedy.
Kind of, yeah.
He has that whole thing where he's like, if you don't do stand-up, you aren't a comedian.
Yeah, but I do like his philosophy. Like he like never swears in any of his comedy because he like goes by the philosophy that it's like a cheap laugh. I mean,
like that's kind of what I'm doing with this podcast,
Yeah, but I'm not above that. That's the difference.
I'm just saying, I'm trying to push us to be more creative.
All right.
And then next episode, I'm limiting your Office references.
I haven't made any Office references.
Not today.
It's fine. Office references are great. I make them every day. I make them in my everyday life.
You make them constantly.
Yeah, I do. But that's how I talk. We gotta keep it real. We can't have this fake personality. It's got to be how we are in real life.
I'm gonna start pretending I'm just a completely different person
every episode.
Yeah, I'll just start voice acting. I'll put on a character the entire time.
Nice.
How you doing, Mike?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good, boy. Gonna head out to the farm later today. Drink a cold one with the boys.
What? Really?
Oh yeah.
That's like really, really cool.
I hate this.
Yeah, we need to not do that ever again.
Fucking Farmer Mac and Marco Mike.
God. Oh, Marco.
This is the worst timeline.
Yeah. Any other questions you got for us?
I'm wondering which of these I should ask. I already had a scorpion question, so I can't ask another one. Beta Man Noah asks, what animals do you think you could take on?
Oh, I mean, there's a lot. I mean, are we talking about like animals that are possibly a threat to me?
Yeah, because if we're just talking like hamsters, like
like hamsters, guinea pigs, squirrels, rabbits, mice, rats.
A goldfish.
Right.
Just punch that sucker.
Right, exactly. There's a lot of animals that aren't going to put up any sort of challenge.
Yeah.
But now if we're talking like what type of jungle cat do you think you can take on?
Ooh.
That's a different story. And the
I don't think
answer
I
is
could-
none of them.
I was about to say, I don't think I could take any of them.
No, but I mean, there's got to be like some level of threat to the animal.
Well, do you think you could? Let's put you in a boxing ring with a kangaroo. Do you think you could take him?
No, those things are like legit.
No, they're jacked.
Yeah.
Those things are fucked up.
Did you ever see the one with that like looked like a dude?
Yeah, like super ripped as
It had
hell.
like pecs and abs.
Yeah. Oh man. Did you ever see that video of that guy like protecting his dog from the kangaroo and just like knocked it out?
Yeah.
That was insane.
Yeah.
I was like, I couldn't do that.
You think our old boss Tom would be able to take one? He's from Australia.
Yeah, I mean, he's from that outback area. I bet he's probably tussled with some ruse.
Oh man. Speaking of Australia, I got something. So remember in How I Met Your Mother, how Marshall's dad leaves him the voicemail about Rent Crocodile Dundee 3. It totally holds up.
Yeah.
They made a 4th Crocodile Dundee movie. I just saw it for sale the other day.
Nice.
Yeah, God, I think he like plays himself. Like it's the actor Paul Hogan living life like in the shadow of formerly being Crocodile Dundee.
Oh, gotcha. So it's just like an autobiography.
No, I think it's like a story. Like, it's like a made up story about what his life was like.
Interesting.
It's called The Very Excellent Mr. Dundee.
I like that name.
Yeah. Yeah, it's got like other famous actors in it too. So I don't know. We'll see. I'll have to give it a watch one of these days. Hopefully it totally holds up.
I've never seen a Crocodile Dundee movie.
What? Not even the first one?
No.
First one's really good.
Seen Kangaroo Jack.
I have also seen Kangaroo Jack.
Kangaroo Jack is pretty legit.
Yeah, that's the one where he like puts on a hoodie with money in it and hops away, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. My old roommate Tim, the one that I mentioned previously in this episode, he and I used to watch that repeatedly because when we lived together, it happened to be on like HBO, and they would just show it constantly. And so like it would be on like 4 times a day.
Interesting.
So at least like twice a week, I feel like we would just be sitting there watching Kangaroo Jack.
There was a solid month around the time that the Avengers came out on like DVD or Blu-ray, whatever, like the first Avengers movie.
Yeah.
So that was 2012. I was 14?
God, okay.
Yeah, 14, I think. 13 or 14.
Okay.
So like right after the Avengers movie came out, I would come home literally every single day and watch the Avengers.
Nice.
I think it lasted about a month. Like I don't know what was up with me that I just wanted to keep watching it, but for some reason, dog, I'd come home to like this was still when I was talking to my dad, so I'd like be coming home to my dad's house and like sit down on the couch and watch the Avengers.
Yeah. My freshman year at Eastern, we would just have either the Boondock Saints or Super Troopers just playing constantly.
Nice.
Both solid flicks.
I've seen Super Troopers. I don't really remember it.
It's pretty damn funny. But yeah, I've done that with several movies.
Oh, this reminds me. I want to talk about this. I watched a couple days ago with Sean. We watched the recently released live action Monster Hunter movie.
Oh, okay.
It's fucking terrible.
I mean, I would imagine, but
dude, okay, so he bought like the 4K Ultra HD disc version.
Okay.
And so like it had extras and shit. So we watched the extras and like they had this segment. It was like for the players. Like it was a message to us, like directly, because him and I are both Monster Hunter players.
Sure.
And there was like 3 or 4 solid different people in interviews who were like, you know, the fans are really into these games. So like we got to make sure we get it right. And they didn't get it right, like at all.
Oh man.
Like, okay, let's go through like a list of small things here. And so number one of the guys, he's like the main hunter who like for one thing, this plot is fucking stupid. So like there's like a band of military people who like drive into a storm and then get teleported into the Monster Hunter world.
Okay.
And then they get attacked by a monster, and every one of them except for one gets killed. And that's Captain Artemis, which that's an extremely subtle name because obviously Artemis is god of the hunt.
Okay.
So then like the Monster Hunter who like trains her and like teaches her the ways of the world. Number one, he carries around like 5 different weapons.
Mm-hmm.
You're only allowed to carry 1 in the game. You can only have 1 weapon. So
okay.
like that's a small thing, but it really bugged me. Like he went from bow to greatsword to dual blades to like he kept fucking switching weapons.
Oh geez.
And like they brought in a bunch of characters from the game Monster Hunter World, one of which being the Admiral. The Admiral is an interesting character because he shows up periodically throughout the game, but he's not like an integral part of the story. And he is never shown having a weapon. So there's kind of a joke amongst me and my friends and within the community that he just goes fisticuffs with the monster because like, look at this guy. He's huge as fuck.
Yeah.
So we just have this running joke that he like always like beats up monsters, but instead they give him a switch axe, which like isn't a super like muscle bound weapon anyway.
Yeah.
And they got it wrong too. Like the switch axe is this weapon. It's an axe that you can switch into a sword. And then like when you're attacking with the axe, you build up energy that you discharge with the sword. He would always like use the discharge attack as his first attack on a monster. And like the discharge attack was not how it works in the game. And like you have to build up energy first. You can't just use it. And it would be his first move.
Yeah.
So like they got everything wrong. And then here's a really good part. So I just showed you what the Admiral looks like. Here's another picture of him. He's got like this long spiky hair that like sticks out the back.
Okay.
Number one, Ron Perlman plays him.
Okay.
Who is Hellboy.
Yeah, yeah.
And they made him look so fucking bad.
Oh no.
He looks fucking terrible, and like they got his hair all wrong and his face looks so fucking terrible. Oh, there's a Photoshop of someone who did a little more accurately, but fuck, where's a good picture of this guy? Photoshops of him looking better are showing up towards the top. Okay, so this is a really terrible photo, but like
oh gosh.
It's so wrong.
Oh no.
It looks so bad.
No. That looks horrible.
It was so fucking it was a terrible movie. And I've talked before about how I generally prefer movies that like have a self-contained story.
Yeah.
They didn't even finish the plot of the movie. They like left it on a cliffhanger, and it's like this isn't getting a sequel. It fucking bombed.
Oh god. Oh.
So oh my god, it was terrible. And they got so much wrong about like the Monster Hunter world that it's like, how can you have so many different people in this interview talking about how like they've known the game for years and they're trying to really nail it, and then you didn't nail it like at all.
Yeah. Oh man.
It was directed by Paul S. Anderson.
Mm-hmm.
He makes like all the bad movies or video game movies. Like he did like the Resident Evil movies.
Okay.
And we realized, like, so Mila Jovovich is the main actress in the Monster Hunter movie. And
okay.
We were both like, I feel like I recognize that name, but I don't know what she's in. She's the lead actress in like all of his movies.
Okay.
And they're married. So
gotcha.
That explains that one.
I was going to say, because what wasn't she in like the lead in Resident Evil?
Yes, she was. She was.
Okay.
Yeah, so she's in the Resident Evil movies too. Like,
yeah.
Figured that one out fast. She's fucking the director.
Oh god.
I won't let like her performance wasn't even that bad.
Yeah.
But like the movie direction as a whole was fucking awful. Like the lighting and color correcting was done so poorly that like it was super obvious when they were on a set versus not.
Yeah.
Like so fucking obvious. It looked terrible.
Huh.
And then like, excuse me, they had this fucking like action scene where like her and like the Monster Hunter fight for a bit, and the amount of fast cutting and camera shake made it impossible to tell what the fuck was going on. We're talking like you'd have like one simple action, like she would like swing a knife at him. There would be 3 cuts within that action, like to different angles. It was so poorly done. I could not believe it.
Oh man,
it was fucking awful.
I never actually saw it, but remember they made like a battleship movie?
Yeah, I didn't see that either. I don't know what's up with that.
That just seems so ridiculous to make a movie based on like
a board game.
Yeah. Which I've actually been playing a lot of recently.
Oh, really?
Yeah, actually the generic version is called Sea Battle.
Nice.
Yeah, same thing.
Same thing. I really have a problem with movies getting made out of those kinds of concepts.
Yeah.
Like we've talked before about how annoying I find it that they keep making movies based on kids' books.
Yeah.
Like when we worked at World Market together, we had this partnership when they did the Peter Rabbit movie.
Yep.
And like they sold the Peter Rabbit book, and it's like a 10-page book that doesn't really have a plot. And they made an 1.5 hour long movie out of it.
Yeah.
Like, there's no plot there for you to work with. You're just going for brand awareness. Like, just make an actual movie. Make something with passion.
Yeah.
You know, don't do it for money, you little bitch. Make a good movie.
Bitch boy. Yeah.
I hate people.
Oh, they made a G.I. Joe movie too.
They did do that. They also made a show though, and that was relatively popular.
Yeah. I mean, G.I. Joe, you've got a little more you can work with, but like a movie based on the board game Battleship seems completely absurd.
Have you ever heard of Cowboy Bebop?
No.
Cowboy Bebop is an anime series made in like the 90s. It has a really interesting story of how they made it.
Okay.
So like it's basically the opposite of how it normally happened. They made like a toy line first, and then they were like, Here are the characters and like the spaceships and stuff. Make an anime so we can sell these.
What?
And it's really fucking good.
Really?
Yeah, like everybody loves Cowboy Bebop.
Huh. I would not anticipate that.
No, it's like it's a super well done anime. It's like very artsy. Like it's like a Western movie. It's like a Western movie or series. It's set in space.
Okay. Space cowboy.
Yeah. So it's basically exactly what it sounds like, and it's so fucking good. Like the soundtrack is incredible. They do this really they have really strong scenes where like they just let the visual storytelling do its job, or they let the music tell you the story for you. Like there's so many interesting animated sequences. Like it's so fucking well done considering it was made to support a marketing stunt.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Usually it's like, you know, the opposite. You don't form a story
around toys. You make toys of the story.
Right. Huh. Weren't they going to make a Hungry Hungry Hippos movie at some point?
Oh God, I hope not.
The only way that would be good is if like the hippos go around like eating people. That might be mildly entertaining.
Yeah, that would be kind of fun. But what if it's like a Jumanji style thing where like by playing the game they wake up the hippos and the hippos start consuming humanity and they have to stop it? I'd watch that.
Yeah, I guess I would watch that. That sounds pretty good.
These hippos are too hungry.
Right? Oh God. I am glad that they did make that. They did actually make a Jumanji board game.
Yeah. I mean, for something like that, like you would hope they would. You know,
yeah.
You're like, I want to play Jumanji.
Right.
I want to summon the devil so I can play a board game.
Right. Oh, you know, bring humanity to the brink of extinction.
Oh, I love that shit.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to steal another question because we got to record longer because we made too many dick jokes. Scorpion asks, if you had one day left on Earth with no repercussions for what you did, what would you do? See, I love how this question is already formatted as like you're going to do something negative.
Right. I don't know. Probably just like go anywhere, like not necessarily like break in, but like go into places that I wouldn't normally be able to, or like
Go to the stockroom of a Target, be like, I'm not supposed to be in here.
yeah, or probably just like steal a bunch of shit, like anything cool I wanted to play with or whatever.
See, for me, as far as I'm concerned, even if he didn't add the repercussions part, like nothing would change because, like, as far as I'm concerned, when you die, that's it. There's not going to be even if there are repercussions, I'm not going to know about it.
Yeah.
But I think I have an extremely boring answer. Like I would probably just get in my car and drive. You know, just see what I can see before I fucking kick it.
Okay.
Maybe fill up for gas and not pay for it or something, but.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm thinking like I'm taking the no repercussions, meaning like I have like free reign to do whatever I want. So I'd like, I don't know, like go into the White House and just like piss all over the president's desk. just because I can.
Okay, how about this then? I would steal a Mini Cooper and then I would go on my road trip because I've always wanted to drive a Mini Cooper.
Okay.
So.
Okay, I gotcha.
Super fucking interesting. I'm a galaxy brain boy.
Gross, dude.
Get over it.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know. I love going on road trips, love driving places. I just see where I can get in whatever time I've got.
Okay.
And then at the end of it, I'm on my last hour. I just ram my car into the nearest person. And then I get out. I walk up into them as they're like in their car burning and bleeding and whatever, and I just start beating them up.
What? That's horrible, dude.
I have no repercussions, Mike.
Doesn't. Oh God. Okay. Okay. Sure. I mean, all I wanted to do was like piss all over someone's desk. I didn't.
That's the president of America, Mike. Show some fucking respect.
I mean, it doesn't have to be the president. Like, just go piss somewhere fun.
I'll piss on the person. Does that make it better?
Okay, I'll allow it.
I'll put out the fire of their car with my urine.
Oh, gross. That would smell so bad.
I'm helping them.
That's true.
They're gonna burn to death otherwise. It's a favor.
Yeah, I gotcha.
It's really fucking hot in my kitchen for some reason.
Yeah, it's kind of warm in here.
Like I've got the AC on. I don't know why it's so hot.
Yeah, I mean, I am wearing like a sweatshirt too. This was a poor choice. It's that time of year where like
you're not really sure.
Yeah, like you get up in the morning and you're like, damn, it's kind of cold. And then by like midday, you're like, shit, I should have worn like short sleeves.
Yeah, I mean, like since I'm in and out of freezers all day at my job, I bring a heavy winter jacket to work every day, even during the summer. So luckily, I don't have to really worry about that. I'll just not wear my coat. If I brought it, I'll just carry it out. But I bring a winter jacket to work every day anyway. So
all right, right on.
I still can't get over how far it's been kind of nice. Like we're at the beginning of April and it's like decently warm. Like.
Yeah.
I feel like this is the first year in a few where winter hasn't crept all the way into like May.
Yeah, aside from whatever day it was, like April 1st or whatever, when we had that snow. Yeah, you're right. It's been a pretty good April.
I did hear from my coworker that we're supposed to get snow tonight, but I find that incredibly hard to believe because the sky is completely blue and it's still very warm outside. Like I don't know, Sue. I think you're spinning some bullshit.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I haven't really looked at the weather, but I have not heard anything about snow.
Oh, I've got something. Or not really something, just something I've had a really good week because my least favorite coworker just quit for no reason.
Okay, that's awesome.
She was so unpleasant to work with, and she just fucking up and quit finally. And I was like, for the next 2 weeks, we're gonna have to deal with being shorthanded because she's not gonna be here for her shifts, and I could not be happier about it.
Nice. Oh, isn't that a great feeling?
It's fucking best. I really didn't experience it much at World Market. Like we had really good coworkers for the most part.
Yeah.
Like there weren't too many people who I was like, I actively dislike this person.
Yeah.
But
Marco.
Even even then, he was like funny. Like we could make fun of him.
Yeah.
Or joke about him. But like there have been a few people I've worked with at my current job who I'm like, this person actively brings down the work experience. I really dislike working with them. And she was the last one. They've all phased themselves out or quit.
Yeah. There was one at World Market. I'm not gonna say her name, but I think it was before you even started working there. Long before you started working there, I think.
Was it the movie White Ass Girl?
No. No, it wasn't her.
Because I didn't work with her.
No, she was our old POS coordinator at some point. But literally on my first day, she goes, "Oh, I need to find a new job." Like, that's not something you should say around someone on their first day. Like, that's like bringing someone's like morale down before they even start.
Yeah, I've had there's this one lady I work with. She's super nice most of the time, but she just gets into a mood where she's like, I gotta quit. I hate this job. And like, she started like spouting shit like that's like a new hire. And like the new hire had asked me earlier in the day, like if we have like a high turnover rate. And I was like, I guess kind of. And then like she started like saying all this shit. And like, it's one of those things where like the things she was talking about were like mild inconveniences that aren't really a big deal, but just got on nerves. Like me with like the boxes getting folded wrong thing.
Yeah.
But she was just like instilling all this negative energy into this new hire on like their third day when they're already like, do people quit here a lot?
Oh man, this woman that I was talking about, she had like a few like phrases that she would say like every day when she came into work. And one would either be like, "Oh, is it whatever time? Oh, is it 5 o'clock yet?" Like as she's walking in to start her shift. God, I can't even think of the other ones. But yeah, it was like literally negative, like every single thing. There's
certain things like that just get on my nerves so much. Like, you know, I still work in retail. You don't really work in retail anymore, but
no,
like retail isn't a great job. You know, it's not super fun.
No,
but it can also be a lot of fun if you let it be. And like some of these people I've worked with over the years and some people I work with now, like they come in ready to have a bad day. Like my job sucks. I hate everything. And it's like,
yep.
If you're not willing to enjoy the parts of it that you can enjoy, of course you're going to have a worse time.
Yeah.
I get it. It sucks. Like our jobs suck. There's a lot of really unpleasant things about it. But like if you constantly remind yourself of that, like not only do you bring down the tude of the entire like store or department, like you're just actively making it worse for yourself.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we made the best of.
We had a lot of fun.
Retail. Yeah, we had a lot of fun.
And like, I feel like we've probably given off a vibe through our stories and whatnot that we had more fun than not working World Market.
Yeah.
And I'd say that's because we remember the fun a lot more than the less pleasant parts.
Oh, absolutely.
Like,
yeah.
You know, the way we talk about work with like, you know, stabbing boxes and throwing shit and breaking things and tossing things into the baler. It makes it sound like very irresponsible employees, and it makes it sound like we never did any actual work, and like we were having a party all the time, and like that's definitely not true. Like the majority of the time that we were working, we weren't having fun,
right? But
we made the best of it, and we had a lot of fun with it, and like I enjoyed my time there. I missed it on a frequent basis.
Yeah, no, I mean I don't miss the job, but I missed all the people we worked with.
Right,
we
like
worked with some really good people.
Right. You miss the fun times.
Right. I mean, that's the only reason why you and I became friends.
Right.
You got to make the best out of like a shitty work situation.
Right. Like I would never I would trade an arm before I would ever hang another rug.
Oh God. Yeah.
But I do miss stabbing boxes during overnights, you know,
right?
Or throwing shelf brackets into the wall.
Oh God, yeah, that was awesome. Oh, that was a thing that Ken and I started doing.
Yeah, there was this one. We had these shelf brackets. I think they were technically referred to as shelf knives, which is appropriate.
Knife brackets?
Knife brackets, that's it.
Yeah.
Which is appropriate. There was like this one blank wall behind where we stored all the grids, and like one day, Mike and our old coworker Ken, this is before I started working there, started like tossing them like throwing knives into the wall.
Well, okay, so they were stored in like a giant garbage can.
Yep.
That was like against the wall. And we just started like throwing them and like banking them off the wall into the garbage can. Then, I don't know, one of us threw it and we're like, hey, what if that would stick into the wall? And so that's what started us throwing them like throwing stars.
There were so many holes in the wall.
So many.
I gave a couple a good chuck here and there.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. It's, you know, you can have a lot of fun with a job like that. It doesn't have to all be unpleasant.
No.
And those people who just come in with that immediately negative attitude like that kind of behavior is extremely infectious. Like it spreads. Like if one person is like giving off bad day energy, it gives everyone else around them a bad day as well.
Yeah, you don't need that bad juju.
And like that's this girl who just quit. Like that's the kind of person she was. Like she was just immediately angry every time she came in, and was like super difficult to like ask to do anything. She never wanted to be there. And it's like, I get it. None of us want to be here. I would so much rather be at home with my cat.
Yeah.
But I'm getting paid and I have a job to do. So I might as well, smile and be friendly and have fun with it. God damn.
Yeah, for sure.
People suck. They really do.
Yeah. Don't be that person.
Don't be that person. No one likes working with that person.
No.
And maybe that's not a concern of yours, but like I guarantee you, if you do not enjoy, if you're like hating every day of doing your job, if you come into it with a better attitude, as generic as that advice sounds, you will enjoy it more.
Yeah.
You'll find ways to enjoy it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then, don't take it too seriously either. We worked with people who were super like by the books, didn't like break any of the rules, and they had less fun.
Right.
You remember that time around the holidays? Like it was you, me, Ken, and someone else, I think.
Mm-hmm.
We had like the peppermint bark tins out on the shelf.
Yes.
And I was like looking at it, and I was like, it's supposed to be really good, but I'm not going to pay this much for it. And I think like you picked it up off the shelf and you were like, here, Ken, catch, and like kind of like with like quotation marks around it.
Right.
And so, like you toss it over, it dropped to the ground super hard, and Ken goes, oh, oops. And then like kicks it.
Like, oh, the tin's down, and I guess we have to write it off now.
And he picks it back up, tosses it at me. I like fumble with it and drop it on the ground again. It's like, oh no, it's damaged. I guess we're just gonna have to try it.
Right? Oh God. Yeah, that was a good one. Oh God, we did some fun shit.
You remember that thing he used to do to Brianna? You'd like
oh God.
Like, you like take a can off the shelf or a piece of sausage. This shit killed me every time. You would drop it on the ground
and roll it under the shelving.
Well, my favorite was when you'd wait for her to like reach down for it, and then you kick it underneath the shelf.
Yep. Oh God. I would do the thing too where like if I was in one aisle, because you could reach through the shelving.
Yeah.
And I would like poke something and make it like fall into the next aisle when someone was over there.
Oh God.
Oh, funny shit.
Yeah. That's the message of today's podcast. Just have fun with it. If you have a shitty job, have fun with it.
I like it.
Live it up. And that's the end of our longest, hardest episode yet. Fuck you, penis, dicks, and balls.